and welcome to part 15 of the mandolin building series. Today I have a very short video on how to make a fretboard out of this piece of wood. So this is the blank piece for the fretboard. It is made out of the same wood that I chose for the peg head veneer, so that this is going to be visually and aesthetically in one line with a peg head following down till the body. As you can see right now, it's a little thick. It's roughly 7 millimeters. I can tell you in inches as well, which means it's roughly 7 millimeters or 3/100 of an inch thick. And I need to roughly sand off 2 millimeters so that I get to a more reasonable size. That is going to be the first step. The second step, I have prepared this fixture right here that perfectly fits the fretboard. And the reason for that is that I need to cut little lines into the fretboard where actually the fret wire, of course, is going to go. In the end, the whole thing is supposed to look something like this. This is the fretboard I'm trying to achieve. And in order to get there, I need to make sure that the distances between those individual frets is as exact as possible. If I'm placing these wrong, I'm going to play the wrong notes when I'm playing. So I have this little scale here that tells me the exact distance from one fret to another. What I'm going to do first now is going to measure very exactly the distances between those frets and put them on the fixture here. I started with a 0 right here, and I'm going to go all the way until the 29th fret. And then I'm going to take a straight edge and put it across and make sure that I have very perpendicular straight lines to the wood here. And then in the next step, I'm going to cut lines into this fixture at exactly those points. And then when I'm cutting into the fretboard, I have something like a guideline to guide me through that I'm making exact perpendicular cuts at the right position. That way I'm going to be able to get the lines in here, and then I'm going to put the pattern on top, trace it, and then cut it out with a scroll saw. And in the end, I'm going to put the fret wire inside and sand everything off so that I have a really nice and fine fretboard. Right here I have my fixture, and here with an Excel sheet I calculated the right distances, and so now I'm going to measure those on top here and make sure that I have very nice and straight perpendicular lines. I have all the frets marked, and so now I'm going to go ahead and measure them again just to make sure that everything's in order, and then I'm going to take a saw and cut the guidelines in. All the holes have been cut. What I'm going to do next is I didn't want to cut them all the way down. That would have made it hard to cut. So I'm going to make a little block piece that fits underneath the fretboard here, so that the fretboard matches right here with the top of this thing, and then I'm going to be able to cut the holes into the fretboard. Little blocks are underneath now, and I have a good height and marked how deep I'm going to cut here. So now the only thing I gotta do is cut in all the holes, and then later I have the fret wire already here. I'm gonna put it on top, take a little hammer, smack him down, cut him to size, and round him off, and then I only need to cut it out and we're done. The holes are all made. I have the finished cuts right here. I also checked that the fret wire fits in those holes. This is how it's going to look in the end. Next step now is going to be to take the pattern, put it on top, make sure that it has a nice center line and that the frets are perpendicular, and then cut it out. And when I've done that, then it's time to actually put the fret wire, cut them to size, and put them inside the fretboard, and then I'm done. Then I have a finished fretboard in my hand. And here we got the final fretboard. Looks really nice. There's one funny thing that you can see. If you look straight at this, it does look like if these lines are not straight, are not perpendicular to the center line. And when I saw that, I was totally afraid, because that would be horrible if that would be true. But I measured a couple of times at different places, and I found out that I'm absolutely right with all the measurements. And now what you can see, if you look at the grain direction here, it is really interesting to see that it runs not straight but to a side, and so it seems to be an optical illusion that these lines are not perpendicular to the center line, because they actually are. Which is good for me and funny to see. I was going to put the frets in now, but I forgot something, and that is the position markers. If I want to be able to go really fast and all over the fretboard, I need position markers that help me to orient myself on the fretboard. And so I have this little white piece of plastic here, and normally you would put a pearl or a Mother of Babylon in here, but I thought, well, first of all, that's pretty expensive. And second of all, I thought it might be cool to just take these dots and put these up here in the corner, just little dots, and make the visual appearance more coherent of the board and not interrupted by those big blobs. And I also need to put them here on the side. So that's what I want to do next. The only issue is that I need a 2 drill bit, and I don't have a drill bit with a number 2. I have a 1.5 and 2.5, but I need 2. And so I'm going to call my grandpa and see if I can get one, otherwise I need to buy one. It is getting super late, it's really dark already, but the fretboard is finished. It looks really nice, it has the dots here, the frets, and I'm really happy it worked out. It looks good, I'm very excited to put it on the mandolin soon. And I'm going to end here. Still a lot of work to do that I'm going to do tomorrow, and I'm going to have a video on the tuning coming soon too. And so there's a lot of cool stuff coming, but we're getting much closer to a final product, and that is really cool. Thanks for watching, subscribe with one of the buttons, have a great day, and see you tomorrow.